10 Facts About the Luxurious Titanic. The tragic history of the Titanic remains a controversy until recent days. Many wonder about the aftermath of the event. While many focus on the unfortunate event, some are fascinated by the luxury of the Titanic. Today, we will explore 10 remarkable facts about the Titanic, the famous unsinkable ship from over a century ago. But first, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to this YouTube channel to stay updated on the latest in the luxury world. At Luxury Mindset, we bring you all luxurious information ranging from items, cars, houses, places, and even people who bathe in luxury. Not only that, but we also give you pretty much the amount you would need to purchase any of these luxurious stuff. So if you're interested in the rich, becoming rich, or even dreaming of lying on a mattress of gold or dollar bills, click the notification bell to keep yourself updated on this channel. The mystery revolving around the Titanic leaves people wondering what really happened, what went wrong, and who were the people on the Titanic. But let's get to know the Titanic more with these 10 facts about it. Let's start with number 10, its capacity. The Titanic, with a maximum capacity of 3,500 passengers, had around 2,300 people on board when it sank. Among them were 13 honeymoon couples who didn't have a joyful celebration. The lifeboats had a capacity of 65 people, but the first one launched only carried 28. Despite being designed for 65 lifeboats, the Titanic had only 20 due to the belief that they wouldn't need more. The ship measured 883 feet in length, consumed 825 tons of coal daily, and boasted over 10,000 light bulbs. Sadly, 2 workers lost their lives during the ship's construction. The anchor was so heavy that it required 20 horses to transport it. On board, there were 1,000 bottles of wine, 40,000 fresh eggs, and an astonishing 14,000 gallons of drinking water consumed each day. Surprisingly, the Titanic received 6 iceberg warnings before the collision. Out of the passengers, 31% survived, but it is estimated that 53% could have survived if the ship had been better prepared. Number 9. The Titanic attracted many wealthy people, including John Jacob Astor IV, an American businessman. Astor, the richest person on the ship, was also considered the wealthiest individual of his time. His net worth at the time of his death was $87 million, equivalent to an astonishing $2.3 billion today. He had notable achievements as a decorated military veteran and the author of the popular science fiction book, A Journey in the Other Worlds. Astor amassed his wealth primarily through real estate investments. In 1897, he built the Astoria Hotel, which, along with his cousin's Waldorf Hotel, eventually became the renowned Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City. The Waldorf Astoria remains one of the most prestigious hotels even after more than a century. Tragically, Astor perished in the Titanic sinking while his pregnant wife survived and inherited his vast fortune, along with their family dog Kitty. Number 8. Violet Jessop. She was a British nurse with an extraordinary story and had encounters with multiple ill-fated ships. She defied the odds by surviving the sinking of both the Titanic and its sister ship, the Britannic. Furthermore, she was also on board the RMS Olympic during a collision with another ship. It is truly remarkable that Jessop found herself present on all 3 of these unfortunate vessels, making her a witness to some of the most significant maritime disasters in history. Another tragic fact falls on number 7. Sadly, some passengers also brought their pets on board, but only 2 of them survived. One passenger, Anne Elizabeth Isham, may have died because she didn't want to leave her Great Dane behind. A legend says a woman was seen in the water holding onto a dog, but sadly, she was one of only 4 first-class women who didn't survive. Eliza Gladys Mulvina Dean was another person who faced a similar fate. Mulvina Dean was the last survivor of the Titanic sinking. A family planned to move from England to America and boarded the Titanic as third-class passengers. On April 14, 1912, Dean's father sensed the ship hitting the iceberg, investigated, and instructed his family to dress and head to the deck. Dean, her mother, and siblings survived, but her father tragically perished. Dean gained media attention as the youngest survivor, and her image was sought after by photographers. In her later years, she resided in an English senior home and passed away. Her ashes were scattered in Southampton, where the Titanic embarked. Housing expenses were covered by donations from Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet, and James Cameron. The ocean is vast, and it took a long time to find the Titanic, which leads us to number 5, wherein in 1985, the Titanic was accidentally discovered during a secret mission by the U.S. Navy. During a joint American-French expedition led by Dr. Robert Ballard, the Titanic was discovered using a remote-controlled vehicle called Argo. This finding brought new excitement to ocean exploration. Initially, the mission aimed to locate nearby submarine nuclear waste, but stumbled upon the famous Titanic instead. The sinking of the Titanic resulted in a tragic loss of over 1,500 lives, with only 705 survivors. Researcher Chuck NSE analyzed the data and discovered that 97% of the first-class female passengers were rescued, while only 32% of first-class male passengers survived. The survival rate for second-class men was even lower, with only 14 out of 168 surviving. Overall, 74% of women survived, compared to only 20% of men. Number 4, the Titanic was the largest ship in the world at the time, surpassing the famous Lusitania, which was overbuilt in 1906 by over 100 feet in length. The Belfast shipyard made modifications to accommodate the larger Titanic and its sister ships, the Britannic and Olympic, which surpassed the length of the Lusitania. However, their record was short-lived. In 1934, the Queen Mary became the largest ship at 1,019 feet long, exceeding the Titanic size. The Queen Mary held the title until the 1990s, when a cruise ship longer was built. Currently, the world's largest ship is the Symphony of the Seas, owned by Royal Caribbean, measuring about 1,188 feet in length, over 300 feet longer than the Titanic. It boasts 18 floors and 7 sections for passengers to live and stay in. At number 3 comes the story of Frederick Fleet, a British man who gained fame for an unfortunate reason. He and lookout Reginald Lee were on duty aboard the Titanic when it collided with an iceberg. Fleet was the first to spot the iceberg and alerted the bridge by saying, "Iceberg right ahead." On the evening of April 14th, as the Titanic approached an iceberg-prone area, the captain slightly adjusted the ship's course southward while maintaining a speed of approximately 22 knots. Fleet and Lee were stationed in the crow's nest of the Titanic, facing challenges such as calm waters and the absence of binoculars. Fleet later stated that having binoculars would have enabled them to spot the iceberg and potentially save the trip. This burdened Fleet's conscience, and tragically, he took his own life in 1965. Relatively at number 2, misinformation or fake news has been present for at least a century. After the Titanic sank, news agencies worldwide initially spread false information to maintain public calm. Reports claimed that there were no deaths on board, providing false hope to families. The Evening Sun in Baltimore even dedicated its front page to the good news, stating that all passengers were safe on lifeboats. Other newspapers echoed similar reports, some denying the sinking altogether. One publication in Halifax claimed that the Titanic was still afloat due to its waterproof compartments, while another suggested that the ship was slowly heading to the harbor with functioning engines. And number 1, before becoming a famous filmmaker, James Cameron made a sci-fi movie about a big ship sinking called Titanic. Released in 1997, Titanic became a massively popular film, surpassing all previous records by earning over $1.8 billion worldwide. Its success was accompanied by widespread viewership. The production of Titanic was notably expensive, with a budget of $200 million, equivalent to approximately $360 million today. Interestingly, the movie's production costs exceeded the price tag of the actual Titanic, which was $7.5 million in 1912. That's around $190 million adjusted for inflation. Despite the real Titanic's historical significance and the prolonged search for its wreckage, James Cameron's film achieved rapid and immense success. It garnered widespread love and acclaim, in contrast to the tragic fate of the real ship. And those are the facts about the luxurious Titanic. What do you think of this video? Let us know in the comments, and if you did, click the notification bell for more videos like this, only here at Luxury Mindset.